want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
I'm back. Rhodes Rants on Star Wars. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Join the Rhodes Squadron. Today, let's talk about Rian Johnson. Ah, yes. The infamous Rian Johnson. So, yesterday, about 7 p.m., I found a leak that said Rian Johnson may have stepped down from his trilogy. So, I started doing some exploration that took me around an hour. And sure enough, I found the following. Daniel Reichman, an industry insider, said via his Patreon that Rian Johnson had stepped down from his Star Wars trilogy. And then there were several other industry insiders that echoed this via Twitter. Super Mario Brothers movies, something, I don't know, Super Bros movies. They have actually come out and issued an apology. So, all of that aside, because as we know now, Rian Johnson has come out and he has said, no, I've still got my Star Wars trilogy. So, this means that it absolutely has to be correct. Is that right? And for full disclosure, SJW Twitter sphere went insane over this, bashing Star Wars fans, bashing YouTube. They lost their ever-loving minds. John Campea called us a bunch of knuckle-dragging cousin screwers or something. I don't know.
Well, hey, Jethro! This is a rave, not a Halloween party! Why don't you go find yourself a pig to fuck?
What I will tell you is, I got home from work today and I said, okay, fine. I'm sure since Rian Johnson decided to take to Twitter last night, about 5 hours after this was trending, Rian Johnson and Star Wars trilogy were trending separately. Lucasfilm will surely have released a press release today confirming that Rian Johnson still has his trilogy.
Ingrate.
They did not. In fact, there is nothing regarding Rian Johnson's trilogy from Disney or Lucasfilm, period, today. So, what I will tell you is, when you look at leaks, generally speaking, you're looking for two separate sources to have the same news. There were about 7 sources on this last night that had news that Rian Johnson had stepped down. It was the most amount of separate sources I have seen on one piece of news in 12 years since I was running thehorrorhideout.com. Generally speaking, most of the time you will not get a press release when somebody steps down like that. You'll get it leaked through Variety or Deadline or some movie site or some insider will break it, just like this was breaking yesterday. Now, of course, people were pissed because everybody ran with it. And it isn't that everybody ran with it. It's that when a rumor has that much to back it, 99.9% of the time, it is true. When you have that many different sources saying the same thing, I've never seen it be wrong. So, I am going to somewhat double down here. I don't know what's going on with Lucasfilm, and I don't know what's going on with Rian Johnson. But what I do know is Rian Johnson confirms his involvement 5 or 6 hours after this started. Why it took him so long to shoot this down, I don't know. I've got a guy that has plagiarized 2 scenes, an entire ending to The Last Jedi, and he also plagiarized portions of the throne room scene directly from Wizard of Oz. And I will show you both snippets of that. Now, a while back I did a video called asking if Rian Johnson was a sociopath. One of the main signals you will see from a sociopath is denial and narcissism. Maybe Disney has not officially let Rian Johnson know that his trilogy is not happening. But it is my belief, and I will double down on it, that this trilogy will never happen. There was about 5 hours of pure joy out of the Star Wars fandom last night.
The first transport is away.
For the first time since prior to the release of The Last Jedi. And I will also tell you something else the film industry does. The film industry will leak a story to gauge response.
Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
Ahead of time. And they will decide which direction they want to go based on the said response. Now, whether or not they choose to listen to your social justice warrior Star Wars fans that were pissing and moaning last night and crying over Rian Johnson being fired or stepping down from Lucasfilm, and then, of course, cursing everybody on YouTube over it, or are they going to listen to the fan base that did not go see Solo and has not bought merchandise from The Last Jedi or Solo? The same very fandom that is going to end up boycotting Episode 9 directly because things like Rian Johnson's involvement is still happening, or they say it's still happening. There is no way that Disney is going to let this movie, his movies proceed. Bob Iger does not care. He cares about shareholders and making money. Those movies won't make $300 million worldwide apiece. Unless they can make them on a budget of $40 or $50 million, those movies are not happening. So, that is my thoughts on Rian Johnson and the news that broke last night about him still saying he is still involved with the Star Wars trilogy. I don't believe him. Either that or he's in denial. But Lucasfilm's silence is deafening on the issue. They have not mentioned his trilogy in probably 9 months. Not a single word of it. In fact, I can't remember them bringing up the name Rian Johnson in 6, 7, 8, 9 months. Where is Lucasfilm? Where is Disney on this? Peace. I'm out. Till next time.